I've missed you guys and I've missed build crafting, but I haven't missed YouTube. Now I'm back because I love you guys and I'm helping out. And I've been wanting to set the record straight on like what what a meta build is, what a good build is. Because I've been seeing just a lot of like wacky shit. And like there's nothing against these builds. I got nothing against these builds, but like don't be going out there saying this is the best build, you know, when like it's clearly not. So, having said that, I'm going to show you guys exactly how to make like the best builds for DPS. That basically just a DPS template you can use for anything. I'll be going into different builds for different specific weapons. These builds may not be perfect, you know. Of course, if you have better talismans, you will be able to produce better builds, you know, squeezing in extra attack or crit eye deco, or put in more comfy skills. But this is basically what you're going to see is just the easiest way to get just template meta DPS builds with little effort and without having to think much. Although you should probably try to think a little more about your builds, you know. I don't like to be elitist, you know, but like it's like a thought process, you know. Figure out what you want and then like take the steps to get there, you know. It works for life too. I stuck at that, by the way. Okay, moving on. Let's get right to it. So, first thing, Nargahuga weapons. I know that sounds like you've heard it 1,000 times and you've probably seen 1,000 videos. And like everyone uses these weapons for a very good reason. And probably people are going to be using them a really long time because they're just so good. They have white sharpness, really high attack, they have a level 2 slot, lots of affinity. There's very few reasons not to use these weapons, but I have a couple builds that don't use them that are really good. I'll show you guys later. But you definitely want to make a Nargahuga weapon. Some of them have 40% affinity, some of them have 30, so depending on that weapon, you may need to adjust this build slightly. But with this build, as of right now, it has 100% affinity on weak points, obviously. On weak points have 100% affinity. You get one weakness exploit from the helmet here and latent power. You really don't have that many options for good helmets in this game, sadly. So, more likely than not, you will always want to default to this helmet when you can because your options for anything else suck. So, your chest piece is kind of in the same situation. Armor really sucks in this game if you haven't noticed. Aside from crit boost, there's not that many good chest pieces out there. So you get one crit boost from the Ramobra chest piece. Ramobras I think are the flying snake thingies. Flying snakes. Those things. Yeah, so this is one crit boost and 2 1 slots. Not terrible. This is pretty much the Kimura braces you can make really early, 2 crit eye, and a level 2 slot. Depending on how much affinity you have, you may find yourself over crit or having too much crit. You may want to drop this for the Rathalos gloves, which basically is 2 attack and a 2 slot. So depending on how much affinity you want or need, drop these gloves to Rathalos. This the Spio coil. This gives you 2 weakness exploit. It's gonna be hard to get those 2 if you don't have this coil. I'm pretty sure this coil is from Argosy. If you just put in honey, someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Just put in honey. Eventually, you'll get a shiny. You get like a shiny material thing, and that'll be the material for this. If it's not Argosy, it's probably the Meowsnaries. Either way, with your Meowsnaries, you should always be trying to get the shiny parts if you don't have them. You don't have all the shiny sets and stuff yet. So that's 2 weakness exploit. And here, there are no better boots than this. The Rajang boots give you 2 crit boosts and a latent power. You got 2 1 slots. The 1 slots are pretty much just for whatever the hell you want. I recommend speed sharpen. Some people put stun resist. I recommend you don't get hit and you won't get stunned. So I would just put speed sharpen. It should also be noted you have 2 latent power, so not only are you at 100% on weak points, but if you get hit a lot, you also have an extra 20%. So, as you can see, getting affinity in this game is absolutely no issue. So you have a bunch of 2 slots to fill in what you want. If you have extra stuff you want to put in, well, you have 2 slots. But probably just throw in some attack. And you haven't even put in a talisman yet. So once you finish the game, you don't know what to do, you don't know what to build. Craft a couple attack or affinity decos, throw them in here, put in whatever talisman you have, and you have a half-decent build. Now, once you do start getting talismans, though, you can start making some more interesting stuff, and I'll show you. Now, if you get a talisman with 1 weakness exploit, this makes it to where you don't have to use the Zenogre helmet. Now, like I said, you have shit options for helmets. There is a helmet that does give you 1 attack and a 2 slot. But, I mean, if you want more flexibility, this is just a literal skull helmet. It has Fortify, which is whatever, but the point of this helmet is you have 2 slots. So for having a weakness exploit talisman, you have more flexibility on the helmet to put in more attack or more crit eye freely, so you can kind of pick and choose how you want your affinity or attack to be distributed. So that's what's possible really with just 1 weakness exploit. Now, see what's on this one. I don't remember what I said. Okay, with this one, with 1 crit boost. Okay, with 1 crit boost, you can drop that chest piece. Now, just like the helmets, there's not that many good chest pieces either. So your options are also limited. There is a chest piece with 1 attack and a 2 slot, which will let you. I don't know which one it is. Let me check really fast. There is a chest piece. I typically just opt to put crit eye. Is that a Zuchi? No, it's not a Zuchi. Here it is. The Barrett chest piece. That artillery is on the deck, is on the slots, by the way, so don't mind that. If you want attack, go with the Barrett chest piece. You'll get 1 attack and a 2 slot, and some defense. If you want affinity, go Nargacuga, 2 crit eye, an evade window, and 2 1 slots. So those 2 are interchangeable. And that's basically the only difference. Obviously, swap out this if you want more attack than affinity. Obviously. But yeah, that's what's possible if you have 1 crit boost. And if you're lucky, you have a 2 slot on that talisman as well. You always want to go for 2 slots on the talismans if you can't squeeze in more attack and more whatever else you want to put on. Now, the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail of talismans and what actually can make an interesting difference in your build is when you get 2 weakness exploit. If you get a talisman, if you somehow get a talisman with 2 weakness exploit, that opens up a lot of opportunities. Well, it mostly opens up the coil, because there are actually a lot of decent coils. Specifically the attack one, the Anjanath one. The Anjanath coil has 2 attack, a 2 slot, and a bunch of level 1s. So you can get a nice little boost here for attack. For your attack, if you have a double weakness exploit talisman, that can be pretty huge for a lot of weapons. There you do have other options for coils and stuff and other armor pieces. If you want to get into more specific builds, like with Switch Axe, you obviously would want. With Switch Axe, you would obviously want the Almudron helmet because it has 2 rapid morph and 2 level 2 slots. No, there's you have other options for other specific builds, but this kind of build in general is what you want to go about when just going for a bread and butter meta DPS build. There are alternatives you could do. I actually typically do something really wacky. I typically like to use the Rajang Coil. Typically like to use the Rajang Coil for my extra crit boost over the Remubra chest piece. But I would only recommend this if you plan to utilize Max Might. It's not for everyone. But yeah, this kind of build is basically what you want to aim for. Once you finish the game and start collecting talismans, I'll be making more build videos very, very soon. Let's just say that I'm back, and you're about to see a lot more YouTube from me, unfortunately. I hope you enjoyed this vid. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Stop by my Twitch chat. You can answer any questions you have. If you want to make fun of my build, I encourage it. Until next time, I will see you guys soon. Follow me on Twitch. Bye-bye.